Hiya, and welcome back to Moonlight Castle, the game that teaches us that... Shit. Damn it, I can't think of anything. Game that teaches us that we should sacrifice everything to Mr. Blorbo. And or Mr. Fridge. Castles are evil and they eat babies. Let's hop right in. Oh, right. The save's broken. Day 5. Start the game from route. Additional information is required. Hole. Please provide the following information. Liam. Branch A. How much affinity? Yes. Necessary configuration is complete. The game is being started from your chosen route. Day 5. He was constantly breathing down my neck, never giving me a break. I thought he'd lose track of me eventually, but Mr. Fridge always had a vague idea of where I was. Yes! Yes! Mr. Fridge! My phone ran out of battery a week ago or something. Couldn't track the time as accurately as before. I was making guesses based on the way my own body behaved. Crawled under a bush and waited for him to walk through. My stomach growled in response and I quickly held it in. Please don't get us caught. Thankfully, his armor was loud enough to cover my own mess. I knew he would turn back and check this room again. That would give me between 5 to 10 minutes. Is it laundry day already? Yes, I'm planning to wash my clothes and have a shower. Greenhouse offered fresh water, but that wasn't enough to keep me alive. Oh, can I scrub your back? There's that one spot I could never reach. Right now? You're crazy. Grabbed my water container and filled it back up. If he's active, that means we're in the night cycle. I'll do that when the sun rises. Aw, Mr. Fridge is ruining my camouflage. Worked so hard to make sure this place always looks the same. I rolled my eyes. You should work harder to get me more food. That's against the rules. I'm not supposed to help you out. But you sure can run your mouth. She giggled. That's obviously allowed, because it is known I love following rules. It's like my one true passion. I can't live without people telling me what to do. Okay, I get it. You can chill now. I sighed and rubbed my belly for comfort. I'm hungry. Not as nice when I'm hungry. The ghost hovered closer to my belongings. You still have food in your bag. I glared and snatched them away from her. Those are my rations. Ever heard of them? They keep you alive longer. Can't say I have. I'm dead. I shrugged. I can't really argue with that. My ears flickered as I picked up on Mr. Fridge's position. She's over here! She yelled, pointing fingers at me. You're such a bitch! I quickly gathered my things and prepared to leave. Don't be mean to yourself. Wasn't being mean enough. Ran into the opposite hallway trying to get some distance between us. I'm being careless. I stopped. I didn't have enough energy to run around like this. So, what's on your schedule today? Besides foraging, not much. I just needed to get one of these blind doors to make a connection somewhere. I haven't seen other sacrifices lately. That was supposed to be a good thing if I didn't consider the critical situation I was in. Wanna know how your boss is doing, maybe? Hell no. I'd rather stay sealed underground forever. Shame. I thought you'd like to say hi while you're here. Hold up. Repeat that. Gavin visits the castle once every 3 months. Why are you suddenly being helpful? This gotta be a lie. I can tell you two would give me some good drama. It gets boring here. There are only so many ways to watch someone die. I really hate hearing that in my own voice. It can be fabulous and fucked up at the same time. I can't disagree, I'm really fucked up right now. Felt a sudden fluctuation in the way soul spread across the entire hallway. One door just unlocked. The energy was flowing deeper from my left. I'm guessing this is one of the perks of being a traveler. She tried to stand in my way. You already know the answer, stop stalling for time. I begrudgingly walked through her ghastly body. True, just that I'm enjoying myself. I grinned after hearing her answer. Then I'll give you that. Your life must be boring as hell. She stopped and I continued walking toward the source. I placed my hand against its cold wood-like surface and felt a rush of soul breaking into my body. Found it. Found myself in a peculiar room that didn't match the rest of the castle. It reminds me of an abandoned storage unit. This might be a memorial room. She was keeping to herself, but I didn't believe my snide remark was the cause. You look surprised. I didn't expect to see this room connecting again. She turned around and shoved her head through the door. Don't you dare. The clone stopped floating and materialized instead. She came back and walked toward me. I need you to leave this room alone. Anything I find you here is going to get me in trouble. The sudden switch in her behavior intrigued me. Interesting. She walked closer and I backed off, taking the shelter behind the huge cauldron stationed in the middle. Nia, I'm serious. Don't touch that. This was literally the only thing in the room. How important is this on a scale from 1 to 10? A lot. Wanted to kick it and pour its contents out. You'll have to tell me. Holy fuck, is that Mr. Blorbo? No, don't drink Mr. Blorbo. We have to take him to prom. What if Mr. Blorbo is grape flavored? No, he looks like he's apple flavored. You'll have to tell me. I can't do that. She grabbed my hand and pulled, so I latched onto the cauldron. Peered inside and saw a strange green substance sitting at the bottom. It is Mr. Blorbo! Then forget about cooperating with me. She was strong enough to lift me off the ground along with the cauldron. Shit! Realizing what was happening, she gently lowered me down. I think we got like a couple minutes before the night breaks through. Come on, you told me about Gavin already. This is way different. I poked the giant black pot. Oh yeah, well I got to survive if you spill the beans. That's never going to happen. So whatever you're going to reveal is going to die along with me. We stared at each other in that choking silence, only interrupted by Mr. Fridge's footsteps. She sighed, her expression cracking under the pressure. This is the closest thing we have left to the original sage. That word, I snapped my fingers multiple times, forcing my brain to remember. Sage, 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 fuck. I think that stupid lizard mumbled something about it. Leaned back into the cauldron and stared at the viscous creature. Is this thing a pillar or not? It so feels like one, but I can't exactly tell. Only the king knows. I'm told that it's supposed to become active when the sage returns. I giggled as I looked at the slimy green worm. It's wiggling a little. She pulled me away. There you have it. Now get the fuck out. Hey, let me look at it more. Time's up. The night is right outside. I groaned, grabbed my things, and walked out. Something excitedly finally catches my attention, and I can't investigate. This one wasn't supposed to open anyway. Are you? Soul shifted again. She had just closed it. You should resume running. Mr. Fridge likes to throw. What does that even mean? Question answered itself when I saw the knight raising his sword. I ducked and watched it travel across the hallway in a straight line. Dude, that's not a javelin. I ran away, but I worried that my time was also running out. Gavin, I wouldn't take my last breath without meeting you again. Solo drew a big bite. I opened my eyes and sighed. Was this going to happen every single night now? I stared at the ring, wondering if she knew that I dreamed about her. You there? She was unresponsive, but I could still sense her inside the ring. I wanted to turn this off later, if that was even possible. That'd be a nice quality of life change. Walked up to my desk, grabbed the notebook Liam gave me, and updated it. Working this early in the morning? I was trying to organize my thoughts. She placed herself on top of my desk, then laid down. This time her body was more tangible. I've got some important news for you, JJ. I tilted my head, unsure of what to say to that. JJ? That's my nickname for you. You don't mind it, yeah? I squinted, trying really hard to understand where this is coming from. Jojo! That didn't help. That's not my name, though? You are so picky. I'm basically saying Joel. It's cute! I don't mind it, just wondering what the thought process behind it was. I still think Mr. Fridge is my magnum opus. You are so subtle about sharing things. Sorry about that. I've gotten pretty deep in your subconscious, so some of my memory spilled into you. That sure is a sentence. Patrice would be on the floor laughing his butt off if he were here. I closed my notebook and sighed. Well, I'm glad you guys can find humor in this. My eyes fixated on Liam's signature on the bottom. Hey, I didn't mean to sound insensitive. I know things have been tough for you. Felt her hand trying to touch my shoulder, only to deliver an icy sensation. You weren't insensitive. I'm fully aware of what you're trying to do. I forced a smile. And I appreciate it. Things get too gloomy in here without you. I think I should take this opportunity to talk about Liam with you. My hand reached for the hat as I shamefully hid my face from her. I'm really sorry for all the times that I've been rude to Liam. She gave me a little snort in response. What? Then she laughed harder. I'm not his mom. She tried wiping off tears, but there weren't any. I don't like meddling in my brother's social life, especially his choices. She grimaced. Even if they're bad. I blushed while fighting the hat's charming song. I feel like I completely misunderstood your intentions. I want to be as impartial as possible. Well, Liam reaped exactly what he sowed. It showed on her face no matter how hard she tried to scrub it off. He loves to push people away. So, I wanted to thank you for not letting go of him. He needs someone like that. I wouldn't have blamed you if you decided to give up, but I'm glad you didn't. He's an eccentric jerk, but I don't dislike that. Even if he always gets on everyone's nerves. It's to make sure you don't get attached. I grinned as she said that. He failed from the very beginning then. It's not just you, I think everyone else warmed up to him. Raised my hands to the sky and fake cheered. Wait. There. Okay. Trauma bonding. Hooray! Nice. Speaking of which, the dream I had tonight was yours. Yes, we discussed that before. I know, but that's why I've been working on the notebook. I don't want to forget. And out of all the things I typed down, the word sage really stuck out to me. My clone and Gavin mentioned that guy a few times. So, it's a person. Is it this Gavin you talked about when you were in the castle? No, two different people. Gavin is the leader of the PMC. Made a mental note that this guy was Liam's boss. So he willingly visits the castle. Strange. I think so. And yes, she didn't bat an eye and confirmed it twice. Sorry, I'm trying to remember, but I couldn't get that far. Anything about the sage? She folded her arms. I don't know. I watched her body twist and turn in ways only a ghost could. She was clipping into herself. The only thing that comes to mind is Gavin telling me of their return. Now that tiny new drop of information was out. She returned to normal. Maybe a really strong medium who went on a long mission? It's really foggy. I see. Every time I seem to get closer by getting a vague answer, I find myself drowning in more questions. We're making progress, though. I need more than just words to stay positive. Is there good news waiting for me anywhere? I frowned at her lack of an answer. That doesn't mean it's bad. It's neither. Important for sure, though. I can't ever get a normal day here. I sighed and waved at her to deliver the final blow. I couldn't figure out what your talent is. That falls directly in bad news, Nia. Is it? I just need more time to gain access to your sealed memories. I raised a brow in response. Didn't I give you permission already? She rolled around, face through me, and jumped on my bed. That's the parts I don't understand. You did, but you actually didn't? Blinks shrugged, her face full of doubts. It's that subconscious stuff that's getting in the way. And then she pointed at me, almost wanting to blame me. There's something you really don't want to see down there. I can't say. I don't remember anything weird that I chose to forget. I already forgot it, so it makes sense for you to say that now. Well, I didn't exactly know how to help in this situation. What's our next move, then? Schedule that training with Liam. Have him show you how to control and channel your soul. You could tell me right now if that's so important. And then he gets suspicious that you figured it all out without him. She waved her arms around in protest, and I calmed her down again. All right, I get it. Don't you want to stop having prophetic dreams, or at least decide when you want that to happen? That was a terrible attempt at channeling Liam's vibes with her giving me such a smirk. You've clearly heard me complaining about that before. Maybe. But in this case, you want to use it on yourself to open a pathway to your childhood memories. Every morning, things just get crazier, right? Uh-huh. I bet you enjoy this more than meeting your parents. Just because you're right doesn't mean this isn't insane. And I remembered something else I wanted to ask instead. Also, what's a traveler? Your doppelganger called you that. Was that also from your dream? She was referring to my talent. As a ghost, it became useless. I stared, waiting for her to disclose more information. All right, I'll tell you. Unfortunately, I can't use it anymore. That would have been easier. Because you're a ghost. Dead people can't produce soul. Mine especially required a lot of energy. She thought about it for a moment. It's like short-distance teleportation. Thought about the word traveler again. That's wow. It was pretty hard to pull off, and I died before I could master it. Travelers are mediums whose talent involves movement. I think Liam will show you a different category later, so I'd like to stop here for now. Kind of tired, I just have one more thing to say, and then I'm clocking out. She jumped back into the ring and disappeared. I willingly accepted my death in that castle. I signed a contract with my organization. Huh? Who would do something like that? I asked a few things to them, big enough to give up my life for it. Her voice darkened and I felt a wave of anger pouring from that ring. I threatened my parents into silence, forced them to set my brother free, and actively forbade them from having another child. Heard an evil chuckle coming through as she continued, but they ended up chopping that micro-penis off. Does Liam know about this? Nope. I made sure to include that in my contract. They weren't supposed to erase any trace I left behind. Well, they didn't do a good job then. I'm sure they did good enough. If Liam managed to get this close to finding me, then a third party must be involved. And I kind of know who would do that. Any information about the organization? Liam barely mentions anything. That part is still blurry to me. Ask me tomorrow, I should regain more memories by then. I'll have to ask him directly during training. Take more soul if you need. You'd kill me! Aren't you already dead? Then I'd be super dead. You can experience death twice? Yeah, not really into that though. Once is enough. The room felt quiet and I sat in that silence for a while. Now that it was just me, I felt numb. I didn't even know what exactly I was supposed to be feeling after this. My eyes moved instinctively toward my phone. It was facing down and away from me, because I was afraid of letting my weaknesses win me over. I was supposed to be unreachable today. Liam reassured me that this would be my best choice, but it was also making me feel like an asshole. I'm sure he didn't mean for you to do this. Didn't you leave? It's just easier for me if I don't see anything at all. I'd rather accidentally ignore them. It hurts less. The only downside is that now nobody can contact you, not just your family. I can solve that by going to the saffron stash. I got nothing to add then. It's a safe play. And I noticed my phone's screen lighting up. I could kind of see the light coming off the sides, regardless of me placing it face down. Are you really sure? It could be important. I'm curious too, okay? But stop doing that! Well, hopefully everything's fine. I'll just look at the notifications from the preview screen. That is all you're getting. There were multiple missed calls from a bunch of numbers I didn't recognize. One in particular called me a lot. Shit, something definitely happened! Several messages were sitting in my inbox, but I mostly cared about the ones Mom sent me. Ryan's awake! Soft smile spread across my face. This is the good news I wanted to hear! That feeling of relief disappeared just as fast as it came. I think Liam wants to face Ryan alone. Could have easily predicted this outcome. He didn't lie to you. I can tell. I looked at my phone again, enlarging the window to see more, but it refused to comply. Great! Can't see more unless I open up the app. I sighed, pushed the phone back down, and stared into space. What should I do? How about breakfast? I'd love to eat something warm again. I scoffed. You got cravings? She lowered her face to my shoulder and showed me her teeth. Joel? I would kill for a burger. I gave an uncomfortable laugh back. A bit weird, but I'm guessing people never really get used to being a ghost. I can solidify my soul for a short amount of time thanks to you, but I can't recreate a digestive system. That's rough? Tried to sympathize, but it didn't come across the right way. It is! You don't realize how much of a luxury eating good food is until you find yourself locked away in a castle. Hit the wrong button. She sighed and disappeared. And this pretty princess didn't get rescued. She died. The end. I stared at the ring, her sadness radiating all around it. Is everything alright? We all had a breaking point. Hers was just a bit higher than the average person. Yeah, my story ended a few years back. Yeah, my choices still echo through Liam. The blue shoal around the ring disappeared. Give him a better ending, please. I moved my finger close to my face and crossed my hands into a praying motion. I still need to get one for myself, but I'll try my best. Thank you. Her energy subsided. I didn't know how exactly any of this worked, but I could tell she was no longer here. She had retreated inside my soul, keeping herself as detached from the real world as she could. Trying to accept that she didn't belong among the living anymore. The world had gotten bigger than ever now that souls revealed themselves to me. It used to be overwhelming. My eyes could easily wander and get lost in this view for hours on end. But now it didn't feel alluring enough. No matter how much I craved for a distraction, the streets failed to provide what I needed. I uncomfortably shifted in place, feeling my gastric juices hitting the walls of my stomach from hunger. I needed to meet the others instead of leaving myself at the mercy of my own thoughts. A sigh escaped me as I stood up. There was no benefit in letting this loneliness eat me up. I had been sitting near the gates of my condominium when a bike swooped in and blocked the way out. What the? I almost hit the wall and me alongside it. This is a residential area. Why are you speeding? The guy turned toward me but didn't answer. He was bulky, a panda judging from his fur. I couldn't see his face. The helmet fully obscured it. You should know I was speeding. He didn't need to take it off anymore. I'd recognize a snarky tone anywhere. James. He dropped the helmet to the side of his bike and climbed down. I really didn't want to hunt your ass down on campus. Thankfully, you made it easy. I'm not in the mood to deal with you right now. Good. Me neither. He revealed a second helmet and tossed it my way. I'd tell you not to hold me, but I kinda have to let you. I stared at him, then at the helmet. What are you talking about? Stop acting dumb. You know why I came here. I looked away. No. And threw the helmet back at him. No the fuck you mean no? Was that your number calling me before? He rolled his eyes. Duh. Can't fucking pick you up unless I know where you are. If you came here thinking I needed a ride, you guessed wrong. The panda grinned. I thought this passenger princess got too comfortable being taken by others. Putting my finger at him. Why do you care? Have you developed empathy now that Ryan got hospitalized? He scoffed and walked closer. This isn't the right time for you to grow a spine. Then he grabbed me. I'm trying to be helpful, yet you're already getting on my nerves. He was dragging me to his bike, but I struggled free. It's way too late for regrets. Leave me alone. James snapped after hearing that. His paws reached for my clothes and he pulled me closer to him. You're such a piece of shit. I don't want to hear that from you. He lifted me up to his eye level. Not after what you did to us. My eyes widened as he released old, pent-up feelings the panda had clearly been harboring from the past. What are you talking about? He began shaking me, only for his anger to manifest itself through tears. I hate that stupid innocence of yours. Should our family. James growled as he tightened the grip on my jacket. I don't understand. What did I do? I waited and watched his soul expand with grief. You did nothing, but your nothing fucked all of us. He rested his head in his palms as his voice choked out down to a low sob. All of us. Genuinely, the fuck did Joel do? Sorry, I was drinking water. Like, I feel like this is one of those situations where it's like, you ever just hear a rumor about yourself and you're like, holy fuck, what the hell did I do next? I feel like this is one of those. Repeated himself with a slow, pained whisper before closing his eyes into an awkward silence. James. Shut up! Don't say another word. You wanted me to speak, though. You're crying. And? But you've cried more than I ever did. He wasn't wrong there. Still considered Ryan family, you know. Panda reached for his own jacket and wiped his tears. Instead of everyone else here, he was the only one who didn't suck. I offered a tissue that he angrily snatched out of my paws. I could afford to forget it all and be a normal kid when he was around. Thought we had a connection, something stronger than just a blood bond. He let me go and I hit my butt on the floor. He's that important to me. And watching him fight for his life on that hospital bed, it fucking hurt. I understood his grief, but I couldn't comprehend his logic. I know what you did, James. I stood up and brushed the dirt off my clothes. You don't know shit. He walked closer and dug his fingers into my chest. Ryan is fully devoted to you to the point of forsaking who he really is. He's willing to become a villain to completely destroy his life just to protect you. Seeing that self-destructive behavior pissed me off so much I lost it. Because you don't fucking deserve that. Especially when it's this one-sided. So I provoked him. Thought he'd see a reason and realize how ridiculous he was acting. All I wanted was for him to wake the fuck up, but he didn't. That scar you blame me for was just self-defense. I never meant to go that far. It's just a consequence of his actions. Gently moved that pointing finger away. It hurt a little. I can't see Ryan today. You should know why I'm doing this. Threw his paws in the air and walked away from me. Of course I know, but it's fucked up that you're doing it now. Can't help him. Nobody else can, and the only person who can is refusing to see him. Panda grabbed his helmet and put him back on. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I won't change my mind. Stared at his bike and sighed. What am I supposed to say? I told him that I'd bring you back. The truth, James. That Joel isn't ready to see him yet. Not until he's sorted through the demons and inside his heart. The panda turned around, leaned against his bike, and stared at me. I want to know what really happened. The doctors were clearly lying out of their asses. My eyes traveled down to my feet. His question alone was enough to send me back to those final moments. It's not for me to say. The truth of what transpired that night needs to come out of his mouth. His laughter was offensive. He's never going to tell me. If he truly regrets it and wants to be alone, then he will. And wants to atone, then he will. You might not be his preferred first step in reclaiming his life, but you're a close second. He quieted down and jumped back on his bike. The panda stared at its controls for a while in the deafening silence. Fine! Whatever, do what you want. I walked closer. James. He uncomfortably shifted in his seat as I approached him. What? Stop saying my name like that. It's weird. I reached for his paw. How did I ruin your life? Is that why you... But he quickly smacked it away. Forget it, we were kids. I don't even hate you as much as I used to. Watched him turn the bike back toward the road, readying himself to leave. No. My anger is aimed at the real target. Gave me one more disappointed stare. And no. I'm not fucking telling you who. It's not your business. And then he pushed me away. Get some priorities in that stupid head of yours. Sorry that things didn't work out between us. I always thought that if Ryan liked you, I would too. For all my family, I created enemies that didn't exist just to hide the real ones. The engine roared as he drove his bike toward the road. I'm tired of talking with you. See ya never. Think you'll have to tolerate me some more soon. He smirked. I'd rather not see your face again if I can avoid it. And he sped off. Hey! I chased him a little, but quickly gave up. What's wrong with my face? I touched it, fully trusting those stupid words of his. He's such a jerk. I puffed up my cheeks. Life is unfair to everyone, eh? It really doesn't spare anyone. Took a deep breath and started walking toward the saffron stash.
I had been staring at the red light for ages.
It always lasted much longer than the green did. Then it flickered finally.
Ryan gets me killed, and what do? I drive his fucking car back to him.
You offered yourself. My eyes glanced toward the phone I left on speaker.
Yeah, otherwise Joel would have done it, and I couldn't let that happen. But I expected you to drive it for me.
Keep your filthy paws away from my bike. It was much easier to drive than this.
You doubt my skills? I learned to drive on my sister's bike first.
Don't care.
I'll be joining you on the drive back, remember?
The crocodile groaned.
It's going to be a quiet ride. What I'm about to do will be exhausting.
An unforgettable performance. I smiled.
Is that worry I hear?
He's not a medium.
I know the consequences.
My smile faded as those images flashed through my eyes one more time.
Worst case scenario, I become the bad guy again. But this is my choice.
I deserve to take back what he stole from me.
I'll never move on unless he understands.
And this was the punishment I must deliver. The anomaly is a real problem. I shook my head.
My plan didn't change.
I don't like waiting outside. Dylan's aggressive concern got a chuckle out of me.
Your perception is much sharper than mine. I will increase my soul output if something goes wrong.
His real self won't come out unless I face him alone. Do what you want. He scoffed as I began parking.
I've got your weekly check right here. Is this one going to Terrence too?
Dylan drove past me and stopped nearby. Leave it blank, I'll fill it in later.
Sure.
I turned off the engine and ended the call. Walked past Dylan, who didn't say a word and just gave me one long stare. I could tell he contemplated whether he should have spoke up, but he didn't.
It's going to take a bit. If you feel something strange, don't be alarmed. It's my soul you need to focus on.
He grunted. It was enough for him to predict I'd planned something else. He gave the crocodile a mischievous grin and walked into the building. I toyed with his car keys as I walked through the hallway. My mind was replaying the whole performance. One part still didn't feel right. These stupid cards only showed me fragmented parts that I was tasked to connect.
Capricious thing!
Reached out to the reception, got permission to see him, and walked deeper in. Hardest part was right here. My beginning act was going to determine our future. Raised my hood and tucked my ears in. That should be enough to confuse him. After all, we had similar features. A foggy glass would do the rest for me. Stood by the door, waiting for him to notice me, and knocked. You can come in! His silhouette hurriedly shuffled something away, and I twisted the handle. Quickly adjusted himself and welcomed me with a smile. It was a fake warmth he had practiced so long, it even started to feel genuine. Joel! I covered my mouth. Fuck, I shouldn't laugh. Stayed silent and stepped forward. I knew that my voice would give me away. Needed to get to this conclusion without my help. Kicked the door shut and waited. Then it hit him. The mask he'd been holding on to shattered. It was impossible for him to keep his composure now that he had seen who I really was. He stood there, petrified. Removed my hoodie, fully revealed myself to him, and smiled.
Were you expecting your prince to arrive?
Hearing my voice further injected him with fear.
After all, a hero is nothing without somebody to save.
You shouldn't be here! He stammered a response.
I am exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Ryan couldn't keep his eyes off me as he failed to give voice to all the scrambled thoughts in his mind.
I see.
I looked around and saw the many gifts he had received, the get-well cards and flowers prepared by his mom.
Love bombing, huh?
His family only seemed to care when it was convenient for them.
At least my parents hated me the normal way.
Liam. I raised my paw and stopped him from finishing that worthless sentence. He didn't fight me on it.
If you really want to say something, you gotta do much better than that.
I began walking toward him.
I'm the personification of everything that is wrong with you, after all.
The closer I got, the further he retreated to the edge of his bed. Stop! Don't come any closer! I slowed down. Please, stay where you are! He reached for his covers. Liam! Stopped just before reaching the base of his bed. I don't want to do that again. He lowered his voice, mortified. Go away. Tossed him the keys.
Fine. Thought we could talk, but if you're deciding to hide, then do that.
He stared at them and I turned my back on him.
Be a coward. Lose everything. Just stay out of my way.
I've already lost everything, haven't I?
Why the fuck would I bring your car keys to you?
I don't know. It's a bit weird you did that.
So now I'm weird.
Ryan frowned as he stared at the covers. That's not what I wanted to say.
No, that's exactly what you were thinking. You just told me that without your stupid filter on.
I don't understand.
Just forget it. You wanted nothing to do with us anymore, right?
That's not true. I just can't face anyone anymore after what I've done. It's only fair that you leave me behind and...
Oh, cut the bullshit! You're perfectly right. I didn't tell anyone about this. Joel and I agreed to keep your little mistake hush-hush. So don't fucking say that to my face hoping I feel pity for you. I don't. You're not a martyr. If you're hoping to be the hero, congratulations. You failed.
I clapped.
You became a villain instead, and you will stay that way.
The sound of the clapping irritated him more than my words. Yes, I know. What more do you want me to say? Are you hoping I'll dig my hole deeper or something? Least I can do is to disappear and let you guys move on. Walked back to him. My small figure was barely enough for me to be at the same height as him while he was sitting.
I can't fucking move on. I'm sure you guys can, but I cannot.
Raised my voice and repeatedly dug my finger into his chest. Why? I understand that there was intention, but is that enough to traumatize you? He watched me continue to do that and grew more uncomfortable.
The intention, he says.
I chuckled at his joke.
You're the worst.
A fake laughter got me to laugh for real.
Not good enough to be a hero, not consistent enough to be a villain.
I sat down.
Only you can suck at being both.
Liam.
You're the worst villain ever. Not a compliment, by the way.
You're not making any sense.
No, I'm not. That's why I'm here. So that every word I just told you will. Because it's not fair that only we get to suffer while everyone thinks otherwise.
I don't want you to keep suffering.
Then face me and what you've done to us.
I extended my paw forward and requested his in turn.
This is your first step toward atonement. If you want to move forward, then you need to see the truth.
Okay. Closed my eyes and brought his paw towards my forehead. His soul was acting strange, displaying the anomaly Dylan had mentioned. That was my concern. I concentrated and created a connection between us. My soul traveled across his veins and deep into his mind. I jolted his slumbering memories awake and forced them to activate. He responded much faster than a civilian would. His paw began to shiver in mine. I opened my eyes and stared at him. What is this?
A world that doesn't exist anymore. Our actions led to its destruction. The pain you've inflicted under the guise of protection.
I don't want to see this. Make it stop, please. I pushed him down.
No. Joel and I won't get to make it stop for us either.
And climbed on top of him.
Sometimes I can still feel it.
Oh, that is terrifying. Wow. Hold up, is Ryan strangling Liam? He watched me, overwhelmed by his new memories. I caressed my neck, stopping exactly where my windpipe was.
Can you imagine what this felt like?
He whimpered, unable to provide an answer as he kept crying. Grabbed his paw again and he began shaking his head. He was begging me to stop, but couldn't voice it out loud.
Your hand is big enough that you could have choked me with just one.
I smiled as I led both of them toward my neck, showing him exactly where his thumbs had pressed.
Yeah, it was easy for you, right?
Then I did the same thing to him.
Can you feel it? That helplessness?
Watched him struggle as his breathing became frantic.
The last thing I remember from that time is that you were smiling as I drifted in and out of consciousness.
I let him go. A deep breath followed, and his paws went limp as they dropped to the side.
My eyes rolled all the way back into my skull, and everything faded to black.
Then he started to cough, and I moved away.
That is the scar you've given me. The real one.
I murdered you?
Yes, but actually no. Now it's just a terrible nightmare.
He buried his head between his paws. Mike! I seriously did something like that? I didn't reply as I lifted into his muffled crying.
You've just taken the first step. Think really hard and figure out what you can do next time.
Is there anything?
We're going back to the castle tonight. You're not allowed to join us until you found the answer.
But the others...
I told you before, didn't I? You're not a hero.
He grabbed his cover, twisted them in frustration. I'm sorry. Fuck. On one hand, hang on, we gotta think. On one hand, yeah, he murdered Joel. Not Joel, Liam. On one hand, he murdered Liam. On another hand, he also technically didn't? He also technically didn't murder Liam? That was because of Liam. And on the super secret third hand, I'm biased. And on the not so secret fourth hand, he was possessed. However, the possession only clouded shit. It only amplified things, so he still wanted to murder Liam. The possession doesn't work if there's no intent to amplify. So he still wanted to kill Liam. Fuck. Chat. I don't think we can forgive Ryan. I'm gonna create a poll. Genuinely thinking, I don't think we can forgive Ryan. Like, in good consciousness. This is such a fucked question. And because it's literally killing him, that scar will never fucking leave. Thought about that choice and kept the answer to myself. Time heals every wound, they say. Ryan would test that for me. I know it means nothing to you, but I needed to say it. His voice was softer, but I frowned nonetheless.
I don't need empty words.
Walked up to his flowers and touched them, running my paw across the white petals.
Take action and do something about it.
They felt dry, already dying after having their roots violently cut.
That's how you make this pain easier to tolerate. Your new body needs to rest and adjust to these changes you just went through. Find your answers by the next time we talk.
It's always changing. Its density was different, but I didn't know what that meant. I had never seen anything like that before. Can I ask you something? In the midst of his tears, a chuckle escaped me.
Right, you avoided mentioning Joel for the whole conversation. But I can't answer your question for him. We all have different roles and mine ends here.
Ryan looked away and I walked towards the door.
There are other things you need to solve before coming back to us.
My eyes glanced over to those ugly flowers on his nightstand.
Take care.
I walked out and stood behind that door again. My mind wandered back to last night and how gloomy and dark things were. Is it just me, or is, like, the text box pulsing a little bit? Like, let me show you. My mind wandered back to last night and how dark and gloomy things were. See, it just did it again! A panda emerged from the crowd, and as he headed in my direction, I moved out of the way. Wait. I swear to God it's doing something. Granted, I'm also fucking blind. Out of the way. We exchanged a glance, only for him to get through without saying a word. Hold up. Can everyone in chat just, like, open it? I want to test something. Just, like, full screen the stream. Because I'm pretty sure that this thing is, like, reacting to audio. I swear to God, something is happening. We exchanged a glance, only for him to get through without saying a word. Who was that? Heard him speak through the door. My victim. We all had our own battles to fight. To face each other was nothing but destiny. Just another form of entertainment. I dug my phone out of my hoodie and unlocked it. Joel should be at the Saffron stash with Clyde now, waiting for me. I'd shoot him a text. I pointed my phone at the teacup Russell served me. How should I take this picture again? This kind of shot demands a horizontal style. He leaned closer and I rotated my phone. Okay, now I just have to snap this photo. The dragon placed his thumb on the lens. You're being too hasty. Wait for the tea to make some nice vapor first. He reached for a spoon and gently placed it on top. I'm assuming there's no tea bag. He looked around but found nothing. You'd like to add that for composition? Correct, we're merely following the standard procedure. As I kept holding the phone, a new notification appeared on top. Oh, Liam's heading back. He frowned at the spoon, changing his position several times while I read the text. I pray to hear good news. I forgot that I gave him a new voice. I tightened my grip around my phone and forced a smile. Yeah. If you really want to take those promotional pictures, you should do it while the tea is still hot. Yes, that's true. We eventually settled for dipping the spoon inside. Take a seat behind the cup, then. Keep in mind everything I told you. I will. Raise my arms and angle the phone just enough to let the camera peek inside the cup. Smile! His glasses reflected the flash back to me, and I blinked. Did you? I rubbed my eyes. Yes, only your body. He opened the gallery to see it for himself, or there's just your lower jaw. Yeah, that should be exactly what Blake wanted us to take. Composition might be nice, but your good looks are being wasted. This is supposed to advertise the restaurant, not Clyde. I blushed and looked away. Not wrong? Kat was demanding an audience to scold me. We should take a picture together as a group, then. Isn't that a lot more memorable? He returned the phone back to me. I'm not against it. Liam, on the other hand, would despise it. I'll have to find a convincing argument. Can I see? I passed it over. Sure, what do you think? His eyes skimmed through the picture and a subtle smile formed. Interesting. His gaze shifted to Clyde. Did Blake come up with this? I'd classify this as a group project. The dragon grabbed the cup and took a sip. I bring the photographs and he creates art with it. Definitely a good pairing, don't you think? Do we pick a filter now? I'll experiment. Can you guess what's their strategy behind this? The focus is obviously on the tea. Your eye was immediately drawn to it. Then you notice Clyde and you get this desire of wanting to investigate more. Because it stirs the feeling of, he feels familiar. Who is he? So you start connecting the dots. You're pretty close. People don't like being directly told what to do. Went for another sip. So make them believe this was their initiative instead. Brutal. This is a picture that invokes mystique, and there's enjoyment in figuring things out on your own. Yeah, that's a lot of nice words in front of a veiled malice. This has definitely got Blake's signature written on top. I imagine this only works because the background character happens to be Clyde. According to Blake, by combining this strategy with Patrice's help, you will see your customer's rate increase drastically for a couple of days. What happens next is up to Russell. I patted Russell's back. I'm sure you'll do great. At least I won't be cooking alone this time. Nothing can go wrong. Clyde finished his tea inside. Now I'm in the mood for another serving. Can you brew me some more? Russell picked up the empty cup. Will do. It surprised me that Liam decided to visit Ryan in your stead. One would assume you'd look after him. I didn't want to run into his family.
And nothing can go wrong.
Oh no! It all went wrong! I didn't want to run into his family. I'm sure that would have been an awkward conversation. Yeah. James's words were still fresh in my mind. You look troubled. We can discuss something else. There's no need for me to learn your motivations. Thanks. Actually, I was eager to learn more about mediums and their experience on the field. He checked the time on his phone. But I'm unsure if I can afford to stay this long. Medium training, huh? Scratched my cheek. Must have mentioned it at some point. I didn't want to miss that opportunity. It sounds exciting. Does this stuff even matter to you? Back with your milk oolong tea. Thank you kindly. Clyde stared at his cup, a frown forming as he observed that shiny surface. Thought I'd wait for Liam to tell you this, but it's safe to have this conversation when it's just us three. Ryan sat down as well. I see you're going for it then. I remember this. Liam said we would talk about it today. Yes, the investigation. He raised his fingers and quoted himself. We followed a trail that led us to the leech of the PMC. I watched him take some sugar and mix it in with a spoon. And I have ties with this person. His soul was growing in shape only to shrink again and repeat this process. He didn't know that fact beforehand. I can vouch for him. Clyde took a deep breath. Actually, I'm not the only one. Your family was also involved. I blinked. I failed to process that sentence. Huh? You're joking. It was a coherent sentence on paper, but I couldn't understand what he said. That makes no sense. I'm sure Liam told you the mediums ran in the family. Stood up from my seat and pointed at myself. I could be the first one! Russell gave me a deadpan stare. With a seal? I held my ground nonetheless. Clyde just sipped his tea instead. Specifically, your father was mentioned. My head snapped back to the dragon. It was an obvious slip-up. He didn't look happy when Liam tricked him into saying that. I reluctantly sat down again. We are moving way too fast. I massaged my temples. There's so much more I have yet to learn. I recommend you seek advice from your mother. You need to push forward with her. I blushed as soon as I realized what I heard from my mind. It's so embarrassing. How much are you hearing? My hat wanted to take me on a date. I'll spare you the answer. His talent was going to get me killed someday. But Dad disappeared when I was a child. I don't know anything about him. Clyde gently lowered the cup. I see. I'm really sorry for prodding up into your past like that. He bowed deeply and I begged him to stop. No, it's okay. This is an emergency situation, right? But I struggled to hide how uncomfortable this was making me feel. I need to reiterate that I'm truly apologetic. I had to physically hold him in place so he wouldn't bow again. Anything else we should know? Well, we're being observed. Be mindful of what you do now that you're aware. I'm obviously going to choose safety over compromising our lives. We were a little late for that. No amount of information is worth knowing if it means dying. I waved him off. This couldn't possibly be as bad as the castle itself. Oh, I'm used to that. Being monitored can't be compared to the feeling of being watched all the time. Russell gave Clyde a glance. The dragon grimaced instead. Wait, you don't mean... Same thing, yes. But I've lived through that ever since I can remember. Clyde covered his face as he stared at the empty cup before him. Oh dear. There was no light in his eyes. Just now, that might have confirmed your ties with the organization. I gave Russell another concerned look. What the fuck? But Clyde was the one who managed to convince me with his expression. This is insane. He'd never fake that kind of reaction.
I'm here, what I miss.
All three of us frowned at him.
I'm immune to depression, just so you guys know.
We're discussing the PMC. Liam dramatically pointed at himself.
Without me? Talk about being disrespectful.
Clyde looked at his phone again. Sorry, I really am running out of time. I didn't share anything you weren't already aware of. Lynx made his way to our table and sat down.
I know, I'm just messing with you.
The silly theatrics were going to derail the conversation. Everyone else should hear this, not just me. Clyde avoided eye contact.
Not possible. I'm going to filter it until each of them what matters the most.
They're choosing to have Liam be the only one with a target on his back. I gave all of them a stern look. And that is fair? They refused to answer at first. No, it's not. Clyde reluctantly looked back. But that's the best solution we could come up with. Liam gave us his gremlin smile.
I marked anyway. Why ruin you guys as well?
But his face quickly softened into genuine concern.
My choice has screwed you over once. So let me take this.
Placed my paw on his shoulder and reassured him. If things are developing the way I think they are, then I can't blame you for making this happen. I squeezed. This was inevitable. Then I felt his paw on top of mine.
I just happened to be the loser who triggered it all.
Clyde calmly backed away from the table. Oh, my apologies, but I have to be somewhere else. Let Liam go and turned toward the dragon.
What do you mean? We scheduled training today.
I know, and we waited for you, but now we must postpone. He had been glancing at the clock ever since I arrived. Dylan isn't here either.
Don't expect to see him at all today. When are you available again?
In a few hours.
Alright, fine. Get out of my face.
Wait for me to return. I'd rather not miss this. Liam waved him off. Clyde bowed a few times, but the Lynx didn't care.
Yeah, whatever.
His attention shifted back to me.
Are you free now instead?
His bitterness was leaking through that question as he tapped at the table. Yeah, I don't really have anything else going on. Russell also stood up. I'll leave you guys to it then. I need to let Dan know that we're going to be busy soon.
Of course, now that I'm here, everyone leaves.
The bull rolled his eyes. It's not what you're thinking.
You're missing out, not me.
Yeah, I'll be back soon. The Lynx sighed.
There's someone I want you to meet.
I feel like there's enough content to justify another stream, and I am tired. I'm at least 90% sure that I'm going through withdrawal symptoms on my medication right now. So we're going to leave off here tonight. So that's lovely. Oh, now we get the Ryan one. On one hand, I'm happy to see this, but on the other hand, I'm mildly pissed at Ryan. Alright. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.